Oh, Mike's a hot indeed. I'll tell you right, we are ready to go here at Edge Radio Australia. It is, of course, a time for a show. What's it called, mate? What's the name of this show tonight?
Well, it's we're all about business and networking and relationships.
We are.
Yes, there's a crossover between where AI probably can be supported by genuine human interaction, Aaron.
End of the day, all business is about genuine interaction between human beings, right? We can get all the tech, we can get all the fancy buzzers and lights, but ultimately it's about people, dealing with each other and interacting with each other. And I think we've got a bit of a superstar here today, haven't we? A bit of a very special guest indeed. Of course, it is Wealth by Design today here on Edge. Would you like to do the introductions
I
there,
would
Jeff?
love to, Aaron. Thank you. Yes, today, a big day, guys. We have Nadia Leopardi, who's General Manager of the Western Suburbs Business Association, joining us today, which is fabulous because I had a association with the Subiaco Business Association as a local business member for many years.
Right.
And then it morphed into Western Suburbs Business Association. And we've got about 200 or 300 members. Nadia will be able to fill us in. But so Nadia's the General Manager and doing a fabulous job and growing the group. And it's good for business.
Of course it is,
great
absolutely.
Relationships, and welcome, Nadia. Great to see you.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Oh, look, we've only just started. It's fun already. That's a great start. You might not say that in about half an hour, but,
It's always fun.
It is.
From
Life
my
is
end.
supposed to be fun. Fantastic. Could I ask a bit of a question? Sorry to dive straight in on this, but I remember, of course, the Subiaco Business Association for many, many years. How long ago did it morph into the Western Suburbs?
It's over a decade.
Right. Geez, I'm getting old.
Yeah,
It feels
I know.
like about 2-3 years ago, but there we are.
The association all up has been going for 41 years now. So I've only been in the role, this is my second year. Going into my second year is great. And so ignorance was bliss last year. It was fantastic. So now it's all about building on what relationships I have and the things that I want to do. And it's been really good fun. Learning to work with the committee, having worked for myself for a long time before that.
Sure.
It's sort of answering to other people it's got its good and bad times. And so, it's great. I've been told that it suits me down to the ground, the role, because I have all the skills required to follow our value statement, which is to welcome a community of people where we're building genuine connections, and the individuals that are professional, ambitious, and not just all about business, it's all about relationships as well, because as you've referenced with business, genuine connections and people that we not just like, but trust.
That's a great point. In Australia, they've done a lot of studies about this, and then different countries have different value sets, I guess, when it comes to doing business. And in Australia, one of the primary reasons people do business with each other is exactly that. It is a feeling of comfort, of friendship and trust. Yeah. And fundamentally, the Australian statistics are much higher than that than, say, for argument's sake, the US. Yeah.
And it's a lot more pleasant.
Yeah.
We can hustle and we can call and we can knock on doors, we can bang things down. But if we're actually enjoying people, doing business comes a lot easier. And as human beings, we forget that genuine connection is where the pleasure comes from. So, and then our purpose becomes bigger than profit. It's not just about money.
Of course not.
Sorry, I know money is important, but
no apologies. It's a genuine statement.
The purpose, if your purpose is genuine and you want to connect people and you actually have a service that's going to help people and you're very clear on that, and I have to eat my own cooking in that way, and I have to understand that the service that we offer is something that's going to help people. And then at the end of the day, the funding comes, the members come, you build it and they come, don't they? So,
100%. And Nadia, something I'm going to throw forward is something you mentioned before, the fact that you've been in business. To me, that instantly there's credibility there. I'm not being critical of people who haven't been in business, but if you've come from being a lifelong public servant, geez, what a culture shock that would be. So for me, I instantly feel more comfortable. I know that my trials, my tribulations, the ups and the downs of actually being a business owner. It means a lot.
Thank you. And I do have a business coaching background and a qualification in coaching and personal development. So me, and also prior to that, in another life, I was in events and hospitality. So it all mirrors up. But at the end of the day, being in business, it's about providing a service and finding out what people want and not trying to be everything for everyone.
Which is a challenge for a lot of us.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Once you cotton onto that, you can actually then focus on what you're really looking for and find your ideal client. So yeah.
Thoroughly agree. Well, I should sit back. I mean, let's face it, Jeff, you've got a big bunch of questions, I'm sure, for Nadia. So should I just relax and
yeah,
go
mate,
with
I think
it?
just to get the Cuban out, mate.
That's got the Cuban. There we go.
Yeah, no. So Nadia, a couple of questions I had in mind. Given that it was a very small group of sort of hard, gnarly little old business people that were tied up with sort of the Subiaco Business Association when I joined, it's certainly it's blossomed a hell of a lot in well, certainly in numbers and a whole range of things that go on with the association now that it's WSBA. What other numbers we've got these days? How many members have we got?
It's just on around 200, sort of give or take, companies.
Yes.
So you have a number of employees involved in that. We have over 3,000 followers on each of our social media platforms. We had around 4,000 on our database.
Great.
So those numbers work well, and we're always building on them. I think, that is predominantly, there's a big amount in the Subiaco area, but when you listen to the Western Suburbs Business Association, you assume that it's all Western Suburbs businesses, which is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
I think what happened is so many other people wanted to be a part of that.
Sure.
There's probably people that have lived in the Western Suburbs that have businesses outside, like in Malaga, and want to come and join the association for many different reasons, not just to get business. But there's, because Subiaco, the city of Subiaco is our principal local government sponsor, and as of this year, prior to that, they were just the principal sponsor, and now they've stepped into the top local government sponsor, where we've got a lot of people in that council region, and City of Subiaco want to be seen to be supporting the businesses, as do all the councils.
Sure.
So we do have other councils as members, and we're looking at, we're talking to the WSA, Western Suburbs Alliance Group, which is the group of all the CEOs of all the councils in the Western Suburbs, and we're talking about doing some events and things with them. And so getting the councils behind it and particularly helping us fund it shows the businesses that they're interested in supporting them. But the one thing that we're doing with the Western Suburbs, as far as that name, is having all of our events in the location, which means we're bringing people into the Western Suburbs.
Yes,
so
very important.
That's really important. But anybody from anywhere in Perth can join us, as long as they fit our culture.
Sure.
Which is...
Well, and a great comment as far as culture goes. I mean, the reality is that I have lived in the Western Suburbs. I don't currently, but it is, every area's kind of got their own feel about it.
Yep.
And whenever I sort of go there, I know a lot of the sites, I know the shops, and you kind of feel, even though it's been, I moved out of there probably 10 odd years ago, I still feel like part of the community. I still feel like,
absolutely,
I know the local way.
No, you're right, and I think great. Just from my own personal experience with the group, it's very, very welcoming for new members. I find that the pastoral care, if that's the sort of term, is very, very good with your organisation, because new people are very, very welcomed at any of the events, because they've got this tagging system.
Right.
So if you're a new member, you've got a blue dot. And of course, not many people need to be reminded, but if there's any blue dots floating around, make sure you make them welcome.
Make them welcome,
and everyone will target the blue dots and introduce themselves. And it works fabulously.
That's a great system. I've actually been associated and still am associated with another business association here in Western Australia, and I've seen the value of this. I really have. And when I entered, the welcoming side of things, it's a brilliant way. I mean, look, you're connecting, and business is obviously improved. There's no ifs or buts about that. It's great for business, but it's also great from a mentor point of view. Like the other people have had the problems or the challenges that that we're all having at some point. So being able to go there and just, even people in different industries, you find that you can share your ideas and they'll have an answer for you.
Yes.
It's like it's a social event, but at the same time, you're actually effectively gaining such valuable knowledge that would have cost you a lot to actually gain otherwise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can actually, and often partners of business owners are, often a little bit disenfranchised with what happens with their partner in business, because he or she's running the business and the other one's doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So the culture at WSBA is such that partners really do fit in. They're not coming into a sales environment.
Okay,
Exactly.
It's sort of
Exactly.
it is a softer approach, mind you. But that's good,
well, your partner's such a big part of your business. I mean, honestly, how do you do it on your own, really?
Yeah, we often ask people to leave their business at the door initially.
Okay.
So come in, meet people, ask questions, get to know them, just have a genuine connection. Because if you come forward with your business, you're going to scare people off. People don't want to be sold to. No one wants to be sold to. But people do want to help other people. So if you start asking questions about people, they'll reciprocate that.
Thoroughly agree.
And it's not rocket science, and we often forget that, especially when we're under pressure to grow our businesses. And I think, again, you feel a sense of hope if you come in and connect with people. And the lucky thing is, the Western Suburbs Association, they are a bunch of very hardworking, very successful companies.
Yes.
So you also, there's big dollars in there. So you can be rest assured that you're in a good environment for business, but go about it in a way that builds trust and respect first off.
Yeah,
so it's a long
sorry to interrupt. I really do apologise. I'm just going to jump up. We've got a little bit of a technical issue in the background that I need to deal with.
Okay.
But please keep on chatting. And let's face it, this is absolutely brilliant. I love hearing what's going on, and we'll sort that out.
Yeah, well done.
No worries.
Nadia, there was a classic case of support for your original statement about how your social media platforms get the message out. And I was introduced to a couple about 5 months ago that really want to do business with us. There's inheritance coming in. There's a whole bunch of money coming in. And they've been told that they need to deal with the Wealth by Design team. And so, which is great. And they would never have attempted
media strategies that are given to the members at different tiers, as you know, and the masterclasses, and many other things. So we've got to diversify what we do. That's not just about rocking up for a drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. No question about that.
Yeah.
Yep. All back everything's great there.
Yeah. So that's it. That was just a bit of positive feedback on the
Thank you.
outreach that you've got, which I thought was marvellous,
Fantastic.
and helps us too, because it sort of it helps bring in Aaron's business Edge. It helps to build street cred. People are dealing with lots of money. They're in the mid-50s and they're going, well, we can't afford to make a mistake here. So the whole trust thing is
Trust is just massive.
it's such a big deal.
More so now than ever, because so many people see so many voices. Everyone's got a voice now online, whether they should or shouldn't, and so it's hard to. It's very noisy. So that trust and what I'm talking about being genuine and connection is more important than ever. And people want to shortcut that, and you can't. You just can't.
You really can't.
It's a long game, and that's why we want people when they join us for at least a year. You don't join month to month.
Sure.
You're in it for the year, and it's going to take you that long to really, if you put the time in. And again, it depends on your time and your financial commitment. Obviously, with us, the more money you put in at the top levels, you have more visibility, or you've got to do the groundwork yourself at the lower levels. So.
But you know what, being part of an association and leveraging off others' knowledge, you're shortcutting that process. You don't have to learn everything yourself, including
exactly.
That's just it's just great benefit.
Absolutely. And a lot of people join for so many different reasons. One gentleman joined because he said, I can't believe what's in the media. I want to talk to businesses and business owners face value. I want to know exactly what's going on in Perth.
Yes.
On the streets. What's really happening.
What's really happening, exactly.
Not what the media is telling me. So
that's a whole other show there, Nadia. But
totally.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, as a media entity ourselves, that we actually, we are all about free speech. Freedom of speech, it absolutely matters. And I agree, because in all of our aspects of life, when we're not hearing the information is power. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
So I know I can see why you'd find that quite restrictive as a business owner. No question about it.
Yeah, it's a very, very good point. Yeah, so the I guess what I also think is incredibly valuable with these organisations, and WSBA are pretty well set the mark in my view for professional standards.
That's great to hear.
Because I'm tied up with 3 of them, and they're all different, and they all have different levels of value. But I think if you're sort of a reasonably established business, not a startup,
sure.
What minimum fees are? What, 500, 800 or something a year? I forget.
For the entry level,
entry
level is $360 plus GST. That's for a startup or sole trader.
Yeah,
sure.
Corporate,
very affordable. Yeah,
it's essentially $1 a day.
Yep. Yeah. And then you get access to some free events and members' prices at all of our other events. The sort of entry level for corporate is around 800. And then we have our platinum, Jeff's platinum, and then we have diamond and our principal sponsors. So we are actually have a space now for principal corporate sponsor, and we are looking for a major sponsor to.
Well, look at the value they get. I mean, honestly,
So if we sit alongside, so City of Subiaco get a mention everywhere, everything, we just wear out their name, of course, basically, and that's the idea. And the city, if we can get a principal sponsor corporate, whether it be a bank or we're open to any industry really. So I'll be talking to a few people. Got a few candidates at the moment, and it's just a matter of what suits and putting it to committee.
Good. Are you so it's would you disclose the sort of dollars that are involved
for principal?
Yeah.
20,000.
20K.
20K.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very, very good value.
Yeah, I mean,
certainly on the scale, that's fantastic.
Yeah, 20 grand for that sort of exposure is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot involved. There's free tickets. There's naming rights for 2 events. We run Women in Business at Matilda Bay. So our new principal sponsor would have the naming rights for that. It's probably our biggest sellout.
Right.
150 women for lunch.
So no invite. Okay, fine.
No invite. Lisa's coming.
Yes, one of the 3 of us will make it.
We'll tell you all about it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Unless you want to dress up, you're
welcome. Oh, look. Wouldn't be the first time. No, look. It's a great initiative. It really is. Yeah, and honestly, to do it in such a beautiful place too, okay, that's just great. Yeah. It really is. I mean, I love that area down there. So Matilda Bay is just gorgeous. You've got everything from the businesses there, obviously, and lovely restaurant and everything. But you've also got the playground area where families sort of people are getting married there. It's all sorts of good stuff. It's a lovely spot.
It's a good area.
All of the venues that we do our events at are members.
Okay.
They have to be members, and then we promote them on socials as a hospitality member. So, and we commit to doing an event every 18 months.
I have a bit of a theory when it comes to business, as far as, and I come from a sporting background. I know it's hard to believe, but there you go. But I do, and very much in sport, it's about stepping on others, right, to achieve.
Yeah.
And I find that in business, like the way to achieve is to bring people with you, to coordinate and to cooperate with others, and everybody comes along. Everybody wins if you actually do that. If you take that kind of attitude, it's I find it's massively beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I love these associations.
They remember you then.
Yeah, that's great.
People remember you, and that's visibility is key.
It certainly is. Yeah. You might have the greatest product in the world. If no one knows it exists, where are you?
Correct.
Yeah. We so all our and there's a lot of businesses done between the various members.
Oh, absolutely.
It's quite significant. I mean, we have always enjoyed Ultimo, who's one of the members. Catering company.
Yep.
Yeah. So food's always great. So as soon as we started to crank up these Money Matters events at my office, there was just no question who we would use. It was just like
you've got the association.
Call Clark.
That's the relationship. Yeah.
That's right.
It's just it sort of morphs into it.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be seen dead using anyone else but Clark, would you?
There we are. There we are.
It just works.
Yeah.
Many years ago. Sorry,
reliability as well.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about who's cheapest. It's knowing that you're going to get the service that you need. It's going to be cost effective. And it's going to be reliable, and it's one less thing you have to think about.
Exactly.
So,
and even you, Aaron, the Edge Radio King himself, have been the beneficiary of that cuisine.
I have.
Dropped off at our
office. I was only 60 kilos when I met this man. That's what happened. It's great food. Absolutely. Many years ago, I was actually an MC for many years at the Cottesloe Civic Centre.
Okay.
And for that reason, we all, exactly what you're saying, though, we all used businesses that were associated with it, and we had a nice little network. Everybody knew their spot, and we knew the quality. And we've just said about price, okay? And cheapest doesn't. It's about the value of the product you get. Okay? You'll certainly forget, what you paid if you've actually got what you wanted. You've achieved your goals there. So I always knew when I was associated with, when people would say to me, "Oh, look, can you recommend whatever happens to be, okay, a decorator, catering firm, whatever." I knew straight away I could recommend these people because they were familiar with the area, they were familiar with the way things worked, and I knew I could. When my reputation is at stake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens when these sort of communities are created? We start selling through people rather than to people. So with that in mind, you're building these relationships, and other people will recommend you because you might not want what I've got to offer, but you'll have 10 people that might be interested, that trust you and your recommendation.
100%.
And it comes back to basic human connection, and AI cannot do that.
Well, we hear AI mentioned left, right, and centre, and it is a great tool for business. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
I'm a bit scared of it, only because my IT skills, struggle to find the any key. But I at the same time, we've got to embrace these things. Okay, it's very important. But ultimately, business is done between people, okay, and relationships. It's not done between computers and that sort of thing. This is how it's done. And building and forging strong relationships means that you've got the trust there, you've got the reliability there, of the quality. Everything's going to come together. I like it.
Did right. Oh yeah, no, it's great watching the the tech help out in various ways, and AI and machine learning and all the rest of it. But I've never forgotten this. The first big experiment with this, where the technology could do away with humans, and it was in a chain of supermarkets in Japan. It was over 25 years ago, and
Really?
and they went, right, we've got the tech. We actually don't need anyone on the counters at the front. We don't need anyone running around. It's like, just come in, do your shopping, get your card out, barcode, take your stuff and leave. Anyway, this whole chain went broke.
I get it.
And the chaps went, what's going on? But of course it was obvious. The social connection between the shoppers and
missing.
the people on the front desk and the cashiers and the girls, so that's a quarter of a century ago.
Well, okay, just last year, there's a restaurant that I used to like. I've gone to it with friends that have now gone, and they have a robot that now delivers your food, okay? And you sit there and you order your food on the iPad. I don't go there anymore.
Yeah, okay.
And the food hasn't diminished, it's still delicious, but I like to have a joke with the waiter or the waitress.
Absolutely.
I like to have that contact, and And now people are going, oh, isn't it cool? Yeah, no. I don't need Robbie Robot. I really don't.
That's not cool at all.
No.
Robbie,
we've got different ideas. That's right. Oh dear. But that's, look, and for people who like that sort of thing, I suppose that's their market, their demographic. Certainly not mine. And
you have a fear of what's going to happen as people come through generations, but we've got that covered because we have the WSBA, which is the Young Western Suburbs Business Association, and that's a subcommittee for us. So
you planning for the future.
We are planning for the future, and so their next event is actually at Lake Munga Bowling in March, and they're all So it is from 40 and under, which is really not young, but I think they're staying broad at the moment. But the idea really is to get the 20-year-olds that are coming out of university and starting into the workforce, into a networking environment and building relationships so they can grow their business.
And also, just a little side note on that one, I tend to think that people who are younger, where they've grown up with so much technology, they're used to doing it without that human interaction, and I think a lot of people miss out on that. I think it holds them back. So this is another great way of initiating that and bringing it forward.
Absolutely,
brilliant, absolutely, brilliant.
Yes, very, very good. So, Nadia, we hope the association is going to keep you going for another few years. I mean, you made such a great inroad so far.
Absolutely.
So
I'm just getting started.
You're just getting started.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
We know where the good one's going.
Got to grab them, not let them go.
We've got lots of wonderful things coming up, so you just have to keep an eye on socials.
Okay. So if we want to get hold of you, what's the best way to do so?
You can email me at nadia.leopardi@wsba.net.au.
Right.
Leopardi is spelt leopard with an I at the end.
Fantastic.
So you can't forget that.
I could still misspell it, trust me.
But you could go back and practice it.
I can.
Right.
Absolutely.
100%. Leopard with an I.
That's
so
pretty good. That is
Yeah.
pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if anyone else wants to know about WSBA, they can always come to wealthbydesign.com.au. Just ask for the introduction to the lady in red, and happy days. I'll pass the details on.
Well, look, we can make
Fantastic.
life even easier. It is currently running across the bottom of the screen as we speak.
There we go.
So we can, if you go through there, we can get in touch with the association. And the only way is up, quite frankly. Simple as that.
Brilliant.
All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for
Thank
today.
you.
I really enjoyed it, and I've learned a lot. quite frankly. And I think I might tag along at the next one.
I think
You could
Yeah.
you come as my next guest.
Oh, look at that.
How's
So,
that?
you're +1, mate. I feel a bit
Yeah.
special. Look at that. Oh, look. Okay.
You are special, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. I've been called special in different contexts. But
When is our next event, Nadia? When is our next event?
Next event, so apart from the masterclass,
Yeah.
which is on the 7th,
7th.
so that's a masterclass with you talking about wealth by design.
Yes.
The next one after that is HHG Legal in Cloister Square. So sometimes we tend to meander into the city, which
Yeah,
we're happy to
it happens.
do. HHG Legal is one of our members, and they're putting on the Sundowner. So all of our members get an invite for free, and then there's a token amount for our guests that are coming along. So around $50, $55. I'm not
Great.
sure what it is.
Happy days.
It'd be drinks and food for a couple of hours, and you'll get to have a look at HHG Legal. Following that, we're looking at breakfast with the mayor and Subiaco at
There we
Bar
go.
Emily in March.
Breakfast
So,
with the mayor.
and that's, David McMullen, Subiaco Mayor, will be featured there, and he'll talk to you about all sorts of insights
There you
into
go.
the economy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then we move on to Women in Business in April. So
Right.
That's
There we
I
go.
can tell the enthusiasm you've got for this one. Fantastic.
Women in business in April.
that's
Sounds
going to be
great.
good.
It's a rip.
Oh, look, and then on that absolute highlight, let's finish the show. Thank you so much for being part of it. Nadia, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really.
Thank you.
And as always, Jeff, love speaking to you, mate. Really fantastic.
No, thank you very
And
much.
Thank
Aaron.
you for bringing such great people into. I really appreciate that. I think that everybody I've met through your association, that you do business with or socially, you're a very good man, and you tend to attract great people.
Yeah, mate. Top class.
Top class.
We only go top class.
Oh, look at that. And there's nothing wrong with self-advertising, mate. Look at that. All right. And with that is the end of the show. Wealth by Design here on Edge Radio Australia.